Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Fox Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Kellen, Garrett, Gannon, and coming to you from the Fox Den, their dad, Todd Fox.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Fox Den Sports Podcast, along with my middle son, Garrett. I am Todd Fox. Fortunately, we have Kellen that's out and Gannon that's out this week, but hey, we're going to keep this one kind of short and sweet tonight. A lot of things we want, not a lot, but a few things we want to talk about. One thing we do want to say is last week our podcast, the verbiage didn't meet up with the videos. So we got an email today telling us that they fixed it, but it's a little late for that. So hey, hopefully this one will work out just fine. But you know, today started the SEC meetings, or what is it? The
media day,
yes, in Dallas this year, and I know OU goes tomorrow, and pretty excited to hear some information coming out of that. Hopefully, we may be able to talk a little bit about that next week. But one thing I wanted to ask Garrett real quick: with all the games next year, which game are you most anticipating for OU? Most of the OU games that we have. Which one do you feel like you're anticipating the most?
I think the easy pick is probably LSU, just because biggest away game, I would think. But for me, I think it's probably Ole Miss, just because is that what you're going to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Ole Miss. Think of something different while I'm talking. So
no, it's cool. Go ahead.
Mainly because they are going to be really good this year. I think they are a dark horse, especially to make the playoffs. And to go into that stadium when they have the highest hopes and who knows how long, I think is going to be really big. But given that, you know, I think it's just going to be a big matchup for us. I'm excited for it. I think that's going to be a top 15 game when it comes down to it. So looking forward to Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
That would be mine as well. I mean, and the crazy thing, it was between Ole Miss and LSU, which obviously I'm looking forward to both of them, right? But Ole Miss, I just feel like is going to be an awesome atmosphere. To your point, they're supposed to be a really good football team this year. To see how we match up with those guys, I know we beat Lane Kiffin pretty bad whenever he was at one of those small Florida schools, but
FAU, I think.
Yeah, and so now he's got a good team, and he does. He's got a really good team. Some great players, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. LSU game is going to be, that is going to be a crazy game, I think. Hopefully it'll be a night game. Well, I shouldn't say that. Hopefully it'd be nice to be a night game, but I'd rather it be a day game. But
as a fan of wanting us to win, right. You're like, please daytime. But as a fan of just like that,
right,
college football and just the
atmosphere,
sport, you're like, give me the night game all day. But
that'd be great. So, but that I was curious because I heard somebody ask that question to me, and I was like, that's good. That's good. So, but that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, to be honest with you, the SEC championship game is probably even higher, but
but we don't know who we're playing yet. So
we don't know who that's going to be against. So.
Yeah, I am excited for Tennessee though. I think that's going to be
great.
Just for the home game. I know we listed 2 away games, but home game, I think Tennessee is the one I'm most excited to go to.
Yeah,
we've said it before. If Alabama had Saban, they'd easily be the top of the list for both.
Exactly.
But
Tennessee's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'll take Josh Heupel and the revisit of the campus and 2 first-time SEC starters. So,
yeah, that'll be fun. And then I'm anxious to see how, and we've talked about it before, the SEC, how the fans come to these games, and I think it'll be good. I think they will. Do you remember going to that Tennessee game when you were younger? Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember? You're too young. So
oldest game I feel like I remember, honestly, is the Notre Dame game.
Okay. I think it was a year or two before that. You, me, Kellen, and Garrett. Or Gann. That's one where we pulled up to the hotel and and they didn't have their room. They had it the week before.
Oh, I thought that was our baseball trip, but
No.
yeah,
That was
I've tried to
Tennessee.
forget that memory.
But anyway, that was interesting times. But so now that we are new to the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners, and I get that, and we're taking some heat through some comments and busting our chops, which is fun. I love the little bit of busting chops back and forth. Keep them coming, and keep it coming. Keep them clean, but keep them coming.
Keep them clean, yeah.
Yeah, if you can.
So
please.
far, it has been. I'm kind of surprised.
It has been, yeah. And a lot of that's coming through YouTube. Got a few through emails and through some social media, Facebook and Instagrams and Twitter, X or whatever you want to call it as well. But SEC coaches, who would you rank 5 to 1? Who the top 5 coaches, and go 5 to 1. Who do you have?
5 to 1.
Yeah, go 5 to 1. That way we can kind of, I guess, keep the suspense, even though I think it's probably the same. It's not really
number 1, yeah, I don't think there's any question.
You know what I mean? Right, sure.
Number 5, I got Brent Venables. Got to represent. Reason being is he's probably one of the only coaches in the country right now that's completely trying to change a culture. And I think any coach who takes on a new team to an extent is changing it and, fitting it to what they want it to be. But I think you could say Lincoln Riley and Brent Venables are pretty polar opposites. So it takes a couple years to get that figured out. And I think we're some of the only fans that realize that, mainly because we, are watching it closely. But you watch what he did from year 1, where he had, again, nobody, to year 2, where he finally got some guys in there that were his and understanding his system. You had 4 wins on top of that. I mean, that's huge. I think it tied him for second in the country for the most improved wins in the country.
Yeah.
So that's why I have him at 5. I understand, first year was just, you want to forget that. Second year, we'll take it. I think we were, a game away from being in the Big 12 championship, but I would put him at 5. He's proved just as much as some of the other coaches that I know people are going to be asking about. So, but yeah, number 5, I got to represent with BV.
You want me to go?
Is
that how are you going to go 5 to 4 or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll go 4.
Yeah, go.
I got Josh Heupel at 4.
Okay.
A little surprising, even surprised me a little bit, but he's year in, year out putting some of the top offenses in the country, if not top 5. So that's impressive. He's got really good talent on the defensive side of the ball. This is going back to Venables too, but both really good recruiters. I understand a lot of people think Tennessee just pays all their players, which I think is the case for just about any team in the country nowadays, but he recruits at a very high level. He has, again, a lot of talent on the defensive side, so that's going to add a whole different aspect to that team this year. I think it's just going to be interesting to see how far a redshirt freshman quarterback can take them, in a pretty tough conference. But I think, again, offensively, he's always, considered one of the best, so you can't take that away. He won a lot of games last year with a terrible team, in my opinion, or at least a terrible quarterback, so that was impressive. And he's won some big, big games that I don't think anyone's expected. So I think that's why I have him at 4. Number 3, this one is different, but I'm going Mark Stoops. That's a team that is never going to be much of anything. Never going to be in the conversation for the top players in the country, transfer portal or high school. But yet he still puts out a very good team year in, year out, and is getting in bowl games and competing in high bowl games and putting product into the NFL too, which I think is important for this list as well. But I think, again, I understand he hasn't even come close to the accolades of some of these other coaches just because of where he's at, the loyalty, you could say something for that as well. But number 2, I got Kalen DeBoer, Alabama. I understand, again, first time in the SEC. He's got big shoes to fill. He has honestly come out and recruited arguably better than Nick Saban in his first year there. He's got roughly about 5 stars, I think, in this next class. So he's getting talent from there. He filled a lot of needs through the portal of guys who left when Saban left. he took a Washington team in a very tough Pac-12 to the college football playoff and the championship. And I think there's something to be said about that with, again, Michael Penix was a first-round quarterback, but he wouldn't have done that without DeBoer. And everywhere he's been, he's won. Everywhere he's been, he's won, including Washington. I don't think that's going to change him at Alabama. I think it's only going to be better for him. And I think it's going to be the same. Yes, they're going to take a small step down from Saban, at least for a couple years, but they're still going to be in the playoffs just about every year, I imagine. And then number one, I don't think anything could be argued. Kirby Smart, I don't think even anything really needs to be said. I mean, he's probably the most dominant head coach right now, and I don't see that changing for a while. So,
No.
Yeah, doesn't need to be much defending to that, in my opinion. So,
well, so my top 5, Venables, I don't have him in it, and the reason why I want to see him actually win, and I get all that. I think he's an incredible recruiter. I think we want to see how he can do what he can do with those players, and I do think he's going to jump into that. My personal opinion, I think he will jump into it within the next year or two for sure. But it'll be interesting because, we've got a tough schedule for sure, one of the tougher schedules in the SEC. But I just want to see how he'll do before I give him that honor. Number 5, I had Mark Stoops because I think the fact that if he were at a bigger school, I would love to see how he would do. I think he had some opportunities, perhaps maybe coming up this past year, but he decided to stay there. To win 7-6, I think, and then 10-3 the year before that at Kentucky is remarkable. And I think he's done a solid job. He's been there since 2013. So I'm looking at it right now. He was 2-10, and then had a couple of 5 and 7
there,
seasons.
Right? If I'm not mistaken, winning as coach at Kentucky.
He's had 2 10-3 seasons, one in 2018, one in 2021. And that's in the SEC. So good for him. So I think he's a fantastic coach. I don't know if he would ever. I don't know if he'd ever go anywhere else. I don't know. He may have that 1 or 2 jobs that he may go to, but I think he's set right there. At this point in his
career, yeah,
I
wouldn't see that happening.
Yeah, unless we'll see. I have Brian Kelly. I know he's a lot of people think he's maybe a little bit overrated, which is I can't argue that but the thing is what he did. I've seen him coach at Cincinnati. I've seen him coach at Notre Dame and now at LSU, and I think this is a big year for him. And I think and we'll see how it all unfolds. But I still think he's a very good coach, and I think he's a good recruiter as well. And we'll see how he'll do this year. But I again, part of mine is the fact that what I've seen done in the past with him. I know OU had some tough games against Cincinnati years ago when he was the coach there, and then he went to Notre Dame, and it's not easy to win at Notre Dame. But then again, they don't have sometimes the hardest schedule. They play some of these. They'll have the USCs who weren't very good for many of years and things. But it's not the. It's definitely not the greatest. So I have Lane Kiffin, number 3. I love me some Lane Kiffin. I think he's fantastic. I said it last week, kind of busted chops a little bit on the Ole Miss fans, but I think he's one of these guys that is always going to be looking for a better job. I could be wrong. He may stay there, but his track record doesn't show me that he will. He tried in the NFL, but he failed. But then again, that was with the Raiders, and the Raiders are one of the most dysfunctional organizations out there. So you never know. He may want to do that at some point again, but I think he's a heck of a coach. He's won everywhere he's been. I say that. He didn't do the greatest of jobs when he was at USC, but that was just during a bad time, I know, with them, and they had some I think some probation and things going on there as well. He's a good coach. I like him. I have DeBoer as well at number 2. I think he's going to do a fantastic job at Alabama. It's going to be different. It's going to change. I think you'll see maybe a little bit of a dip noticeable this year. You got to have, when you're talking about probably arguably in my opinion, but he is the best college football coach of all time, Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have some sort of a dip. Now, a lot of these guys may be some of his players still. I don't know. I don't know how many people left and how many and all that. But DeBoer's got a very good track record. Heck of a job he did at Washington. very good offensive mind. So I do think he's going to be really good. And he's doing really good in recruiting as well. Now, what can he do with those players? And Kirby Smart, the thing about it is I think he's in his late 40s. This guy could be around for another 20 years and dominate. And he's done a fantastic job at Georgia. Incredible job. Georgia is now what Alabama was several years ago. They're going to be that team you got to try to beat. But he's done a phenomenal job. Always has a great defense. Has players picked in the first round continuously. He's a heck of a coach, and he's number one in my book.
I almost had Lane in there, but for me, it was just going back to he does win everywhere he's at, but since he's been a head coach, he just can't win that big game.
True.
He just can't do it.
They got destroyed by Georgia last year.
Yeah, and so far also we haven't seen him put a bunch of product in the NFL, so I think that's something to be said. And as a head coach, I get why he was at Bama, offensive coordinator. He had receiver after receiver after receiver.
Sure.
But yeah, no. And then who was your 4?
Brian Kelly.
That dude his teams are always in the conversation, and they always underperform, and they never do anything, and they always lose again. One of their big games of the year that really separates them from being a contender. And I mean, yeah, Notre Dame. I mean, they did nothing with that guy, head coach. Nothing.
He's the all-time coach, winningest coach there, but yeah.
Yeah, but that tells you something when he's been there for that long and he wins that many games and still has nothing to show for it.
I don't disagree. They need to be in a conference. That's their problem.
I do think that would have probably helped his case, to be honest. But I thought about Kelly as well, but it's just I just can't.
I get it.
Whenever you've been at such a highly touted school and never done anything, it's just. Yeah,
a lot of people think he's very overrated, and I can't argue that. I understand that.
Yeah, and I would agree, but yeah, I think it's a pretty common.
Heupel's a very good coach. Sarkisian, I think the jury's still out. I mean, I think he's building a good program, I believe, but I don't know. Man.
Yeah, but what happens when Quinn leaves and Arch Manning's not as good as everyone thinks? Then they're going to have a down year, and then.
True.
Granted, that's where the transfer portal, you can make a quick fix that next year, but you're still going to have that down year that's still going to cause some sort of effect. And I'm still waiting for Texas
because they always have these high hopes, and I still expect them to underperform what they think. And they think they're going to rule the SEC. It's not going to happen. I mean, Saban came out there and said that today. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. I saw somewhere. I mean, they have a point. I thought I saw Saban say it, but I don't know if it was real or not. But him saying that, they're saying that they're going to run the SEC, but they didn't even run the conference they were in. So why would anything change? So
just because
I was like, that's hilarious. Better. It's facts, but it's hilarious.
Awesome. But yeah, we shall see on all of that. All right. So I've got to say one thing real quick and see what your thoughts on it. Something that has nothing to pertain with sports. When you're driving, stay out of the right lane whenever you're stopped at a stoplight if you're not turning. I'm so tired of people they sit there. I saw it happen this morning. One car parked because I was in that lane and then I jumped over in the left because I knew I didn't want to be that guy. This car sits there, 7 cars behind him. I counted, turn right, stop it. I need people to understand, stay out of the right lane. You remember, do they have it in Springfield where they have those little
turn lanes,
right, which I think would be phenomenal everywhere. But then again, you probably get 2 or 3 people parking there and then you can't get even in the turn lane. But the only thing I can tell people is stop it. We don't need you sitting there. You're wasting all that time. I need through. I'm in a hurry. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
I do agree. I don't turn to the left lane just to let people.
I do. I help people out, man. I'm a man of
I've seen people do it to me before, and I notice it. But no, I don't. People. Yeah, I don't do that.
All right.
Right now, like you said, Missouri.
What's that? Go ahead.
No, we transitioned. I can't talk about it anymore. Yeah.
Time's up. What were you going to say about Missouri, though?
I was saying
I thought you were
Missouri's got
done.
all those turn lanes for most any spot. So
They also have those little roundabouts or whatever. Do you
yeah,
like
there's a
those?
lot of roundabouts now.
They seem like they work pretty good, though.
Yeah, no, they do. Or those what do you call it? That one by Lambert's. You know,
It's a roundabout, isn't it? Kind of like a.
no, it's
What do you
like
call
a.
it?
What do you call that?
I don't know what it's called, but it helps.
Roundabout
helps.
goes in a circle. This
Yeah,
one you go like left, right, and then it's like I don't know.
I don't know
what
what it's called, but it's pretty
like a
cool. So look
butterfly
it up.
or I don't know.
Yeah,
Zipper.
butterfly.
Maybe it's a zipper.
A zipper? There's no shot.
That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right at all. All right. Are you ready now? All right. Here's my question for you. Give me your top 5 sandwiches. What are your top 5 sandwiches? You're a sandwich kind of guy, right? If you had to eat a sandwich. You're not Joey Tribbiani?
I'm not a sandwich guy. You've known this.
All right.
I gotta
So
make something up now.
Coming from a guy that doesn't like sandwiches, what's your top ones? Let's hear it.
Sandwich I would take, number 1, number 13 from Jersey Mike's Way, the Italian. Does that count? I don't even know.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't it?
Number 2. Honestly, I've been getting a lot of just PB&Js. They're plain, they're simple, but they've been hitting the spot. Nice PB&J with some Wonder white bread. Can't miss. Can't miss. Number 3.
Come on,
McAllister's Smoky Pepper Jack Turkey. It's a good sandwich right there.
Sure.
Number 4. Maybe just like ham and cheese on a hot day. You know, hot lake day or something. You know, you pop that sucker out on the creek or something. I don't even know. You know, don't know.
So here's a question: what was that number for you?
Yeah, 4.
You've only gone to 4. What's your 5th one then? You got a 5th one? You gonna just make it up?
Yeah, I'll probably go. I think there was this one place that I used to get like a pizza sandwich. Maybe it was Subway. Haven't had it in about 15 years. Don't ever plan on having it for the rest of my life. But you know, Subway. I hate Subway too. But
all right, here's my question, and this is a question for all the viewers as well. If you want to comment as well, is the hot dog a sandwich?
Nope.
You knew I was going to say that?
I knew you were going to ask that.
How'd you know I was going to say that?
Because that's the next question you would have to ask. That's the biggest question when you refer to sandwiches. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I'm just curious if it's a sandwich or not. I mean, I like to know if people think it's a sandwich. It's kind of a sandwich because it's on a bun. All right, it's got a bun. It's bread. It's got meat, and you can put some chili, you can put some cheese, you can put some mayonnaise, mustard, whatever. I wouldn't put
mayonnaise on a hot dog.
Not
you are a mayo guy. I knew it.
Not
You're
like that though.
Guy.
Lee's a mayonnaise guy. Some people put ketchup on. It's ridiculous, but no, anyway, I wouldn't do that. Some people put what do you call it? Relish. Never put onions. No. Never good. Trust me. All right. Here's mine. You ready for mine? I'm going to go 5 up.
Ooh.
Chicken salad sandwich is pretty good. I like a good chicken salad sandwich, fresh, not out of the can. I like a little bit of nectarines cut up in it, or maybe a little pecan or something like that. It's really good. Tastes pretty good. My number 4, good old BLT. Nothing better than good old BLT. And I do put mayonnaise on my BLT. I'm not going to lie.
I do like a BLT.
But toasted bread, not too hard, but not soft. Just a little bit of crunch to it. That's what I like. Number 4. Number 3 is a pulled pork sandwich. Good old pulled pork sandwich. Good barbecue sauce. I think it's pretty good. Number 2 is a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. If you don't think that is, but again, no onions. Negative. Do not put onions. You can put some peppers and all that kind of stuff on there, but no onions. But a good Philly cheesesteak. And then number 1 is my favorite, the chopped brisket sandwich. Nothing better. A good old brisket sandwich. Made you think now. You're like, oh man, I need to redo mine.
You should have warned me that like half that list is better than mine. But I will say I just had a chop.
I think every single one of them. Anyway.
Not a chicken salad. Get that out of here.
Stop it.
I had a chopped brisket from Buc-ee's the other day. The gas station.
Buc-ee's. Did they get one in Springfield now?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Good. Don't know.
Oh. But you went and got one.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you where it was at. It was like 11 o'clock at night.
Is it close to one of the diverging diamonds? Is what they're called, I think?
That is what they're called, yeah. I don't know.
But that is interesting. But hey, the Fox Den would like to thank everyone for joining. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more sports material next week. It's kind of a lull right now. You got a few more, I think it's 48 days before OU plays. I know Dallas plays, I think it's 55 days. NFL will kick off a little bit the Thursday before, so on that part of it. But a little bit of a lull. I know the All-Star game's coming up. My kids don't like baseball, so can't talk about that. No NBA going on, so it's a little bit of a lull. But we'll be back next week, and you'll see some different topics in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll eventually go to, what is it, Garrett, our annual at some point coming up, the quarterback ranking?
Annual NFL quarterback rankings where we go 32-1.
Yeah.
So usually about an hour and a half. So
yeah, I think I won last year, if I'm not mistaken. I had the best. So just saying, putting it out there. So, but hey, I want to appreciate everybody. I know you got a lot of going on in your lives, and for you to take time out to listen to our podcast is fantastic. Keep those comments coming. You'll see where you can watch us here at the end. Watch us all the way to the end, and you can listen to where you can follow us and subscribe to us. And I just want to remind everyone that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
Be savage and not average.
And remember to join the skulk.
And until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Everybody, Boomer.
Thank you for listening to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Be sure to subscribe for free to our YouTube channel, Fox Den Sports. And also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Den Sports and on Facebook at Fox Den Sports Podcast. You can also email us at foxdensports@yahoo.com. This has been Fox Den Sports.